What is the funniest shit that you saw at school? Our gym teacher telling us how to dribble and shoot, and she missed every shot she took and double dribbled every time. Someone shoulder juked her ass and dunked on her. Oh nah, that's immediate suspension. This bitch got tenure, so if you try arguing with her or embarrass her, it's game over for you. In middle school I saw a girl run into a pole cause she wasn't looking. She screamed, then kicked the pole and screamed again. 10/10. I had something similar happen while playing basketball in my driveway. The ball bounced off the rim and hit me in the face, knocking off my glasses. In frustration I immediately kicked the ball, which then bounced off the pole and hit me square at the gut. It was like some slapstick cartoon shit, but it was as funny as it was infuriating. Back in high school I saw this kid just totally eat it down a staircase of at least 10 steps. Then he got up immediately and ran off screaming, "I'm okay." In a car eye. He ran off to cry in the bathroom and to slip off his now shit filled underwear and deposit them into the trash. There was this guy. His name was, no joke, Harold Balls. And yes, he went by Harry. He was on the swim team and some kid from the other school was reading out the lineup on a PA to swim meet when he got to Harry Balls and clearly thought it was a joke, and he burst out laughing when he said it. Harry just walked off and quit the swim team. Poor kid. Never had a chance in hell. Come on. Like, I get it. Cook Poo is a stupid name, and it gets stupider and stupider the more you say it. When I was in 3rd grade, the principal said that we are gonna host a crown party because of a recent event. So in the next 2 days we were all dressed royal and stuff. But then you see the class next to me, they misheard crown for clown, and lem tell you, these kids looked so funny. I kinda felt bad because they might have been embarrassed. But hey, what else can I do? Every court needs a jester. This guy peaked right here, guys. Time for another monument. A couple guys I went to high school with came in one day wearing Spider-Man and Venom costumes under their clothes. During lunch they shared their regular clothes and fought. Who won? Nobody. Everyone lost that day. A kid in my class tried throwing a glue stick up in the air and swiping at it to catch it, but instead launched it and it hit the teacher. Oh. A kid got stuck in the toilet and we had to get the teachers to pull him out. Here's the story. He was a small kid and I'm pretty sure he was playing tag with his friends during lunch break. I was in the bathroom doing my business and he came running in with his friends behind him. He ran into the toilet and as his friends came to tag him, he fell into the toilet. He got stuck. His friends needed the teachers to help him get out. I was laughing so hard. Please explain. I'm guessing the kid had a very narrow butt and tried to sit down on the toilet bowl with the seat up. Derek was one of the second tier of popular kids. I didn't know him well, but everyone called him Dogger. Anyway, Dogger was stuffing around in year 7, age 12, on a basketball court. Stands at the free throw line, throws a basketball into the air, and kicks it really ducking hard toward the other end of the court. Everyone goes silent and just watches as this magnificent kick sails through the air and then, swish, full court shot, from the wrong free throw line and kicked, goes in. We must have ducked up 50 or more basketballs trying to repeat the feat, in a game that became known as Doggerball. Basketballs don't like that level of abuse. They developed huge bumps. Dogger himself grew up to be the 3rd best player on the school soccer team, behind 2 people who started playing professionally. No idea what happened to him after that. Guess he just died. And Eric Ducking died. Unlikely though. He'd be 38 now. I was never friends with him, so I just lost touch completely after school. Even if I was curious enough, I can't even remember his last name to Facebook stalk him and find out. A fake 2 people from my year level died. One in 1994, year 7. In a freak accident. One this past January of cancer. Obligatory duck cancer. The guy wasn't someone I was close to, but he and his family deserved more time together than they got. Once, in 5th grade, we had a lockdown drill, and this kid hopped up onto the lockers. Above the lockers, there were windows that looked into the classroom. He looked through and in a really strange voice yelled, "I see a Yahoo." This is an underrated response. I genuinely laughed out loud. Some kid shat himself whilst wrestling in PE. He denied it ever happened even though everyone saw. About a week later some other lad climbed onto the roof of a house neighboring my school, trying to get our ball back, and found his shit stained clothes on top of the roof. Instead of leaving them there, the lad kicked them off the roof into the neighbor's drive. The neighbor came to the school and complained after finding shit covered garments with my school's logo on. We had a whole school assembly about the issue. The kid didn't come forward and admit it was him. The teachers ended up looking at CCTV to find out who the culprit was. Kid who shat himself was most likely seen running naked outside and throwing his shit covered clothes onto a roof. Lad who climbed onto the roof was caught kicking them into the drive and climbing on the roof. The climber was suspended for a few days. The kid who shat himself was never seen again. I think he may have left due to embarrassment. Poor guy, hoped he's doing well, but duck me, it was hilarious. Okay, but why was his first, second reaction to strip naked and throw his clothes on the roof? Well, I assume he thought he wouldn't have been able to hide the clothes due to the smell and feared getting ridiculed for the rest of his school life. So he ran out the changing rooms into the little walkway and attempted to throw them over the wall. He would have got away with it if it wasn't for those meddling kids. I was in robotics. Our supervising teacher had gone to his office to get something, and we were getting ready to leave. It was like 7 PM and we were all hyped up on pure adrenaline and the smell of Gearbox lube. Somehow, a discussion over what exercises to do to get fit started. At the start, it was innocent stuff like, you cannot only lose weight on your stomach area, you gotta lose the fat between your inner organs first. Okay, but like, how? Why can he do 10 more push-ups than you can? Unsurprisingly, considering we're a bunch of teenagers left alone in an empty classroom. It quickly spiraled into a debate into what would happen if you did lots of squats. Would your butt get smaller and flatter due to the fat loss? Or would it get bigger due to muscle gain? A girl, which we'll call C, has her jacket half on, dangling off of one shoulder, and she says, in the most serious voice, "No, you are all wrong. You get sculpted ass. No, no, hear me out. Have you seen those Greek statues? Sculpted ass." She keeps repeating the phrase to emphasize her point, and it gradually escalates. Sculpted ass, sculpted ass, sculpted ass, sculpted ass. At that moment, our supervising teacher walks in. The door was open, and the school was basically empty at this point. She has her back to the door and is busy emphasizing sculpted ass. I look over, and our teacher has the most bewildered, confused yet amused look on his face. It was priceless. I collapsed on the floor due to laughter, and while wheezing I told them, "Mr. P is here." A look of horror crossed C's face after she realized what I was saying, and she turned around and started profusely apologizing. At which point our teacher said, "You guys continue," and sat down in a desk in an optimal viewing spot. It was glorious. I scrolled miles down and this is the first one to make me laugh out loud more than a nose exhale. Have a much deserved upvote. Sculpted ass. A teacher, M around 35, walked into a class dressed up as Marge Simpson for Halloween. Sexy. Stupid sexy teacher. In high school some students had made a meme account that was just about the school, making fun of teachers etc. So one day it was gonna snow real hard and the school didn't want to let us go home before it was gonna snow, so one of the students announced on the meme page we were gonna protest that, and like 200 people ended up throwing mosh pits in the small ass hallway next to the principal's office. And it worked. Best day of my life. Mosh pit? We were playing soccer in gym class and a classmate of me kicked the ball really hard and the ball hit our gym teacher right in the ducking face while he was sitting on a bench reading, and his glasses flew off his face. He was ducking angry, but it was an accident. So my classmate didn't get in trouble, even though most of us think he did it on purpose. Did people not like the gym teacher? Almost no one likes their gym teacher. Even if you like your normal gym teacher, there's at least one sub-gym teacher you hated. I once hated a sub for calling me a boy and his dumb version of dodgeball. Oh, it's gotta be the one time this girl in my class, a real know-it-all smartass. But everyone loved her. She was guaranteed to get a teacher off topic, dared our teacher to throw a binder clip at her. It directly related to the lesson as we were learning about how our actions had no consequences. The class was existentialism and the teacher was a Dead Poets Society ripoff. She continued to egg him on for the entire class before he finally agrees. She stands up straight in the center of the class, and we're all seated in a U shape around her. My teacher winds up and absolutely hurls the binder clip at her, missing by a bare inch and slamming the quietest sweetest girl in class directly in the face. Everyone stops, shocked for a second before the quiet girl loudly proclaims, "Your rain ducking sucks." You could tell it definitely hurt her, but we all busted out laughing. She was a great sport about it, and I don't think I had even heard her speak, let alone yell or swear. To this day it's one of my favorite stories. Of course our teacher profusely apologized, and we would casually bring it up as an inside joke between anyone in the class. Interestingly enough, it kind of all brought us together as it was the first week of our senior year. That class became one of my absolute favorites. One kid was walking around and asking kids in his class for a dime because he just 10 cents away from buying something from the vending machine. Then he sees one of his friends walking in hallway and asks him for a dime, and he says, "Yeah, I got a dime. I'll hook you up in the parking after school." He was talking about drugs, but the dean was literally 10 feet. Long story short, they found drugs and a knife in his backpack when they searched him. What is the punishment for being caught in school with a knife? Death. Two guys got into a fist fight in the cafeteria, but they are pretty scrawny and terrible fighters, so it was comical for the people watching. Instead of throwing fists, they are slapping each other and had each other in a headlock. People were throwing dollar bills at them. One of the spectators grabbed a couple scrunches and started putting them in the fighter's hair. There was another fight. This one was between two girls. One girl pinned the other girls and started pulling out her weave and tossing them around. People were picking the hair extensions. Throughout the day you can see people wearing them. Hey, thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe.